before I get to actually know you, so I can help you a bit more efficiently. So I'm
Yep.
gonna have to just start from the very basics of in general, just so I know what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So we are going to hit the practice range, believe it or not.
Oh Lord.
And this version of the practice range was actually created by a player in one of the PC communities, and it's a bit more dynamic.
Oh Lord.
So to start things off, the best piece of advice I can possibly give is try to be a good student in terms of having a open mind and being tactically flexible with the situation. Just because there's no solid piece of advice that's going to work for everything, as I'm sure you already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, now in actual practice, it's a lot harder to do it than actually saying it. And a big part of that is just knowing a lot about yourself first, and then focusing on your strengths and weaknesses. Just because I'm a pretty aggressive player, and I tend to play all my characters aggressively. I kind of have a joke within my friends about if it has a gun, I can kill it. And yeah, so they'll
It
see
is a
like my
good night.
Zenyatta just pop off in the kill feed a lot, and the enemy doesn't really expect an aggressive Zenyatta. And with that being
No.
said, I try to take advantage of the confusion and shock they first initially play against me, and then as time goes on, they'll eventually counter me and try to dive me. And that's just one example of playstyles and getting to know yourself.
Well, yeah, like I do have like with Ryan, I have a very like aggressive play style. Like I was saying in that post, I tend to kind of charge sometimes when I shouldn't,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like second to like positioning sometimes.
Yeah.
That is my biggest weakness is like I'll charge without really like realizing the rest of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I'll get like a pick or like, beat the other tank down, but it then I turn around and it's 5v1 because my team's halfway down the map.
Right. Okay. So, in terms of Overwatch, the first thing to know about yourself is understanding how the game is played. Now, the sorry.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Just choking on my dinner right now.
Huh.
So,
Which I'm actually eating too.
oh, nice. What are you eating?
Um, like fried chicken, like nugget pieces and mac and cheese.
Nice. I got like a store-bought chicken Alfredo dinner. Really good. It's really good, man.
Hey man, some of them companies get it right.
I know, right? So, back on task here. Um, kind of lost my train of thought, but I guess I'll start back from the beginning. So, try to get rid of any stereotype and generic responses to how the game should be properly played. Just because there's over 5 million registered players with Overwatch, and that counts the PC, Xbox, and PS4 communities, and maybe Switch now. And so, with that being said, there's a lot of ways to play the game. And a lot of the time, for me, it's about trying to figure out what the situation is and how to make it the best situation for myself or my team. And it kind of goes into that whole having a tactical mindset and just being flexible with it. With that being said,
Hmm.
one of the first things we're gonna talk about is knowing how to play the game and win at that game. The two primary game modes people talk about is quick play and competitive mode. Not a whole lot of discussions ever about any of the game modes you find in arcades, such as deathmatch, capture the flag, and so on and so forth. And so with that being said, the three game modes you'll find in quick play and competitive mode are King of the Hill, Escort the Payload, and Get to the Payload, or no, yeah, I think it's just pretty much those two, King of the Hill and Escort the Payload of some kind of variety. And the way you do it is by getting the enemy off the objective. And that's the simplest way of doing it. And, well, that's the simplest way of explaining it. And there are two ways to go about it. The first step is killing the enemy to get them off, and that's always going to be the best step. Second one, and this is what Reinhardt's really come good for. If you want to come over here and swing your hammer, Reinhardt's primary attack will actually displace the enemy.
Okay, I got you. Like it'll move them out of the way.
Yeah. A lot of tanks have great disruption abilities, and they can disrupt to certain extents dependent on their kits. Arisa's really amazing for forcibly moving the enemy, so if you want to stay right there, I can bring an enemy closer to you so that you don't have to overextend. Or if you need to get into that range, I can actually shoot a shield up forward so that you can get in closer safely and then attack them.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, that's the second way of getting the enemy off the objective, is either moving them off forcibly or scaring them off. And that's the power of tanks right there, is that they have such a huge health pool, it's hard to kill them in a one-on-one situation. It's doable, but it's really hard, even against another tank versus tank matchup. You're probably going to exhaust all of your abilities to get the kill. And that's pretty much just how you win in any basic objective game mode. And that's the one thing you want to be conscious about, is that you want to figure out what's better, secure and kill, or just move them off the payload or the objective. Because in Call of Duty, you know how in a game mode such as Domination or Search and Destroy,
Yeah.
securing the objective was always a bit more better and had more value because it gave you a more tangible way of actually winning the game mode itself. In the case of Domination, your individual kills didn't necessarily matter as long as you could hold the objective for a certain amount of time. Whereas in Search and Destroy, killing the enemy was also as viable as securing the objective. And so, with that being said, there are a lot of things that can go hand in hand, and they'll actually intertwine with each other. So that's why it's actually kind of hard to say, and it's hard to just for me to accept advice such as get good or just kill the enemy, and so on and so forth. A lot of generic advice like that is just generic and superficial, but they have their points, and they all have their places. With me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. Now, as for tanks in particular, and especially with Reinhardt and Orisa, is that these guys are beasts when it comes to head-on engagements. And the thing about Orisa is that she's kind of a one-trick pony in the sense that all she has to do is go forward, and her biggest strength is her facing forward. A lot of enemies have trouble trying to fight her. And when she's fighting with her team, and if they're defending her flanks, Orisa's very unstoppable. And one of her biggest weaknesses is actually a close range engagement, such as against a Reaper, Roadhog, Mei, or a Reinhardt. Against those enemies, the best thing I can possibly do is try to halt them out of place. Get them outside of my shield and maybe shield dance. And that's what makes Reinhardt pretty great, is that he's pretty simple. And I'm a KISS kind of a guy, which is keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
Yeah. All Reinhardt has to do is just swing his hammer. And he has great area of effect damage. He can hit multiple targets at once with his hammer. And when the enemy is grouped up, that's when he's the most dangerous. And from what I can tell, since he started playing Overwatch quite recently, I would imagine that at the silver rank, it looks a lot different from when I first played in silver back in like 2017, early 2018.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because back then Reinhardt didn't have his Reinhardt didn't have his passive, which was he has a 50% reduced knockback. He didn't have that, and so certain game modes and maps was just really hard for him to find success in.
Okay.
And so I'm just throwing that out there so that you have an idea of, just being flexible. Now,
Yeah.
now that we discussed how to actually win at a game mode, let's talk about actually doing it. Now, I had one of the most interesting stories to tell, which was a freaking diamond player I was with one night telling me that I talk like a GM, but I play like a silver or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is true. One may know how to win the game, but may not be able to necessarily do it. And that's the thing about a lot of advice. And so a lot of it is actually execution. And for our part as tanks, a good way to think about it is we want to impose our will on the enemy. And so that means for you getting close to the enemy for you to fight if we have to, or keeping the enemy at a distance. If you want to follow me over here for a moment, down these stairs to your right. One of my favorite scenarios to run with double shields was a type of phalanx formation you might find in history books talking about the Spartan and Roman legions, which is shoot my shield up forward, move up, and then have you come with me. I'll put down suppressing fire, and the goal is to eventually get to that bot down there for you to kill. And so, while my shield's on cooldown, you would move up with your shield up. And then when my shield breaks or takes damage, you would hold up your shield, and we would alternate shields.
Okay.
And so, the idea would be being an immovable wall that's moving forward, slowly but surely. That was the idea when you would read about Spartan and Roman battle tactics. It was that they put a lot of emphasis on their heavy infantry, and on direct head-on battles, that's where they're the most dangerous. And so that's one possible formation, an idea you want to keep in mind when you're moving forward. Now, with the recent shield nerfs, and with how easy it is to break your shields these days, it's more important that you keep the terrain in the back of your mind and use the terrain to your advantage as much as possible. So if I can like pull this off successfully, I'm gonna just climb up these stairs. Whew, it's a big map. Just give me a minute, I gotta like... Here we go, here we go. Oh cool, he followed me. Alright. So let's just imagine we're on Hanamura and we're attacking point B, and on the very top side where we climb those stairs, my team's on the battle on point. And so one of the best places for me to put my supercharger down as a Orisa player would be on the high ground right here. That way I can hit as many people as possible, and if you jump down, it would be kind of an awkward position to hit, because I would try to have my shield up there protecting it. And so that's how you want to use the terrain to your advantage, or make use of the terrain and use it to your advantage. And that being said, the types of terrains you want to keep an eye out for are... how do I explain this? Okay, so, in wide open areas, like in the area we're just in, if the enemy is coming at us, we don't want to focus on trying to block them, because if you want to snap it on my shield, just for as a scenario, if your enemy is going to your left, sometimes it's better just to let them go to the left instead of trying to match them one-on-one. As long as you can keep them in your point of view, that's just as effective.
Okay, as long as you can keep eyes on them. Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't even need to fight them. And that's where the strength of shields are, is that you can pretty much set up anywhere, and the shields will keep you safe. But in a tight corridor like this right here, if you want to walk out there and look back at me, you'll see that I'm defended on the left side, and I'm defended from the top as well. The only weakness is behind me, and you would have to walk all the way around unless you want to get shot at by me. So I'm forcing the enemy to work towards getting towards me. I'm making them play my game, and that's how I impose my will, just by setting up in this one little underpass right here. And I got a little safe room I can kind of like duck into if I have to protect myself if my shield were to break.
Okay.
That makes sense so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's stuff like that where you want to be mindful of and try to keep an eye out as the situation develops. Now, on a lot of these objective-based game modes, they're designed so that each team has a balanced chance of winning the game. So a lot of the maps are pretty symmetrical, and each team will take turns in each team will take turns switching places, so that they have a turn to win at the game. And so what tactics you use, your opponent can also use against you as well.
Okay.
With me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. And now a lot of this is just on paper theory. And the thing about theory is that you can practice it, and you can experiment on it. And that's what makes it a lot different from my hypothesis, which is, okay, in a Ryan versus a Risa matchup, who would win? And we would just look at the stats on paper and kind of guess at it.
Yeah, like it would come down to like, oh, who puts out more damage? You know,
Yeah.
that's like the on paper stat is she can put out damage as he's coming along, and he can't put out damage until he gets close. So, like you say, on paper she would probably win, but in practice, it might be a completely different story.
Yeah. And as you play the game more often, you get more experience. You'll just instinctively know what might be better, or what will definitely be better, just as you play the game. With that being said, let's get started. Start playing some games now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Ready?
E.
Alright. So we're gonna double stack as shields here. Let me spit this out. Sorry.
You're good.
And the goal for these games is that if you want to get better, then you gotta be mindful and open. And with that being said, you're probably gonna experience a lot of failure before you get better. And I'm telling you that right now, just so you can kind of prepare yourself mentally. Just because there's really like no easy ways to actually get better. I'm sure you know that already, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. Because I don't want to be like the rest of the guys on these communities who give you like one piece of advice and expect you to expect instant results. So for this game mode, objectively, I want you to focus on how the teams interact with each other and keep an eye out for how the team is playing. And I'm going to be leading the two of us for sure. So with that being said, our first game plan is we're going to take the left side of the map, where that small mid-pack room is, and we're going to fight right there. We're going to go right there just because it's an enclosed area. I have that range, and if they want to come at us, they got to go through your hammer, which is ideal for you.
Once the mission starts, no more messing around.
And we're not going to care about the rest of the team here, just because they are a random variable that we can't account for quite yet. We're just going to focus on you and developing your senses.
Yeah.
So let's go left side. And I'll take point.
Forward, my friends! I found it. On me.
Alright, I'm going up the stairs now. It's all clear on top. Alright, cool. There's a Widowmaker. She's straight. Alright, put your shield up, put your shield up. There you go. Keep it shield up. I'm moving forward. Move forward. Dropping my shield. And we're gonna go left side. We're staying left side. Alright, we're not gonna move up, but I'm gonna try to get that Zarya off high ground. Alright, my shield's off cooldown. If you can move to your left, that'd be great. Just keep moving left. Alright, putting my shield on point right here. And watch out for our team on our back. Or put your shield up on front. I'll watch our back. Alright, let's move
One
up.
of those high left. The Widowmaker. There you go.
I'm still on point. Watch behind us. Watch behind you. I got behind us. Alright. Excellent work. Excellent work. See how easy it was for us to get the point? And we already got our second tick.
I'm still new at this.
Alright, let's wait for the team to regroup.
Like I said, I do apologize beforehand if I'm terrible.
No, you're good, man. Don't worry about that. We all have to start somewhere. Let's go down center to see what the enemy's like. Alright. Go right side. Go right side. The reason we're not going down range, down center is because that's where they're the strongest. And we don't want to fight them where they're at the strongest. It's a waste of time. So what we're doing now is a flank. Can we kill that Zenyatta? No. Got him. Put your shit up. Up.
Oh, the Tracer guy.
Excellent. Our team's cleaning up.
Storing updates.
And we made Hanzo use his ult.
Supercharger is almost ready to be deployed.
Excellent.
Objective A captured. Escort
Alright, so this is the theoretical easy part. All we have to do is sit on point. If the enemy doesn't want to jump on point, that's good for us because the objective is to get the payload to the end. Optionally too, the payload heals us as well. Now my shield's gonna break, and use the payload for cover as much as you possibly can, alright?
Yeah.
Put my shield on payload. Oh, Jarvis behind us. How are we looking from the front? Alright, keep your shield up on front. Our back is cleared. Alright.
Shield broke.
Alright, excellent. Stay together. Fan out, fan out, fan out. Oh. Are you still alive? Excellent.
Uh-huh.
Alright. Alright, I'm with you, man. Alright, kick our ass. Put your shield up, you're gonna die. Okay, no, you're good, you're good. Excellent work. Alright. So the enemy was forced to switch. And Pharaoh's gonna be a bad matchup against us because we don't have that tools to deal with her effectively. But we still have tools nonetheless.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put my shield on the front, and I'm gonna keep an eye on our back. Alright, I am... Okay, I'm putting my shield down. Nice work. Bear is behind us. Thank you. Putting my shield down. Putting my shield down. Excellent work, excellent work. Alright. That's perfectly fine, don't worry. Alright, let me know when you're behind me. I want a supercharger. Oh, we're probably gonna die, yep.
Into the iris. It's
analyzing previous combat performance.
I'm gonna be coming up on your immediate rear in a few seconds. So you probably want to walk back. Get behind a wall so you can drop your shield and let it charge safely. Alright, I think it's gonna be safer on the left room. I'll just put my shield up so we don't get shot at. Alright, we're gonna wait for the team to regroup and use as much cover as you can. Alright, it's normal, don't worry. Alright, fall back. Get into the big mid pack room. Keep walking back, just keep walking back. Alright, we're gonna wait for the healers. Alright. Let's just see if we can bait the enemy into this room over here. If they can't kill us, they'll get frustrated, hopefully. Alright, stay in this little room. Brigitte needs health, and she's only gonna get healed if we can get her into a fight. So just secure the room for now. Don't engage them quite yet. Cause you got time. I wish that Genji was patient.
Understood.
Alright. She's getting impatient. Excellent. Alright, she's safe. She's safe.
I recommend moving behind my barrier.
So the enemy probably has their ults ready by now.
76 reporting for duty.
They know we're here, so we gotta push in fast and hard. We're gonna go in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put your shield up. Go. Just move forward. Stay by the wall. Keep your back to the wall.
You are advised to move behind. Cease your resistance.
Alright.
Oh. That's what I was talking about. I
No, you
saw
you
the
cleared us.
opportunity and I took it.
Alright, now you did good. We're moving point again thanks to you. That's what we want.
Oh.
Yeah.
Get over here. I am not ready to be deactivated.
Alright. Same thing again. Let's go left side.
Move the payload. Get to it.
Rally at my position.
Oh, but I didn't
Look.
mean to hit. I need healing.
Alright, looks like we got moving in without them. Oh no, they're coming, they're coming. Same thing again, but let's be a little bit quicker this time. So go forward. Alright, our soldier's going in first. I'm shooting him up, don't worry.
In me?
She killed herself. Alright, get to payload now. Your team needs you on payload, and keep your shield up as best you can.
Charging.
I don't tolerate defeat. Get on the attack now.
Alright. Go aggressive now, Ryan. This is where we excel at. That was textbook. Alright, let's just see how the team rates us.
Play of the game.
I knew he was gonna get that. Ooh, I gotta get that music. Got a shot caller.
You got shot caller? Nice. There I go, I got shot caller. I guess you did good. How much
Yeah, I haven't
damage
been.
did you block?
3,900 damage and 11,835 block.
Nice. I got like... I have a brain fart. Alright, as you're saying though.
No, I bought Overwatch last year
Yeah.
and I played it for a while, but you know, I weaned off of it because it was really toxic,
Yeah.
and so I quit playing right after Signal was introduced because that's when like Ryan still had 2,000 HP shield and he didn't have the knockback thing. And everything was really